Genesis Communications presents the show that's helping people see better and feel better all over Florida. It's Ask the Doctor with board-certified optometric physician, certified nutritional specialist, and popular radio host, Dr. Michael Lange of Lange Eye Care and Associates.
Doctor, my eyes cannot see the sky. Is this the price for having learned how not to cry?
Okay, good morning, and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host, as usual, Dr. Michael Lange of Lange Eye Institute and Fortify Vitamins. If you've got a question regarding your vision, eye care, or a nutritionally related topic, pick up the phones and give me a call. 1-866-977-4820. We're broadcasting through Genesis Communications this morning on a variety of networks through the Deep South. So from Mississippi all the way to the tip of Florida, up to the northern part of Georgia around LJ. So if you've got a question, remember, I'm here to answer those questions. This show is dedicated to you, the listener. I've been hosting Ask the Doctor since April of 1993. If you're new to the program, who's Dr. Lange? Well, I'm a board-certified optometric physician. I'm also a certified nutritional specialist. I founded Lange Eye Care and Associates March 15th, 1993. We opened 12 locations in the state of Florida. Now I hail from the Lange Eye Institute. That's our largest center that I built, close to about 30,000 square feet. It's an institute that encompasses all aspects of healthcare, and not only eye care. We do everything from cataract surgery to routine eye exams and nutritional consultations. We have naturopathic healthcare. We have dentistry, we have chiropractic, acupuncture, podiatry, retina, a whole host of different aspects of healthcare inside the Lange Eye Institute in the villages. It's a destination for a lot of people, drive from all over the state and actually all over the country to come see us at the Lange Eye Institute. You can learn more at drmichaellange.com, langeeyecare.com, or fortify.com. That's my nutritional website. A lot of good information on nutrition on that website. So once again, drmichaellange.com is my personal website. You can actually follow me on all the aspects, all forms of social media. You can befriend me on all of them if you just go to drmichaellange.com and you can follow. It's pretty easy to follow. We got a lot of good information on that website under news and on the right-hand side of the page. If you want to learn more about the Lange diet, we have people losing 6 pounds a week on this diet healthily and safely on the Lange diet. Just go to drmichaellange.com and go to the right-hand side of the column. It says Lange diet, or you can Google Lange diet, or go to fortify.com and go to news up at the top and scroll down until you see the Lange diet plan. All right. I want to mention before we take the first few callers that we do have, we're sponsoring Fortify Vitamins and Paleo Simplified, are one of the sponsors at the Europa Games in Orlando today and tomorrow. So this is May 20th, May 21st, 2017. It's called the Europa Games Get Fit and Fitness, or Get Fit and Sports Expo. It's to be a bodybuilding competition. They're going to have CrossFit. They have a whole host of things to get you in shape there. It's the Orange County Convention Center in Orlando. So I'll be heading over there. I'll be there about noon. I'll be in between the Fortify Vitamin booth and the Paleo booth. They're right next to each other. Paleo Simplified. So check out the Europa Games in Orlando. Also, before we take the next call, I do want to mention Paleo Simplified is still offering 20% off on their website if you use the promo code PALEO, P-A-L-E-O, if you want to buy their Paleo Crunch or their Paleo Bars. What is that? Their chocolate almond coconut, their Fruit Bliss, or pecan pie. These are Paleo Bars that are delicious. Prolonged energy all day long due to their low glycemic index, and they have a superfood content unlike any paleo bar on the market. They have goji berries, spirulina, tart cherries, coconut. They have cocoa, organic cocoa in them. So they're very good. It's hard to find a good bar that is really good for you that's not filled with a lot of binders and fillers. Learn more at paleosimplified.com. Lange.com. Their crunch is amazing. You can put it on your cereal, on your yogurt. You can eat it right out of the bag. It's gluten-free, so there's no wheat, barley, or rye in it, and there's no oats in it either. So it's called, what is it? Paleo Crunch. It's their, Honey Nut Fruit Crunch. That's what it's called. All right, let's go to the phones. Bet first caller must be Bob. Bob, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Dr. Lange.
How are you?
Has your car arrived?
You know, I was getting a little irritated. It is finished. It's been delivered from Dodge to Nebraska. They've been sitting on it. Well, they prepped it for racing, and they've been sitting on it for a week waiting for a competent car hauler to bring it down, and closed car hauler. They got like 13 of these new generation Dodge Viper Voodoo 2s in at the same time. They're the biggest Dodge Viper dealer, and they're having to deliver them all over the country. And I guess maybe I'm on the bottom of the list.
Maybe some phone calls from Florida would encourage them.
Yeah. I'm gonna send somebody up there to get it. If it's not on the road coming down on Monday or Tuesday, I'll send somebody up to get it, because I will have it next week. I guarantee that.
There you go. Dr. Lange, my wife has been struggling with cramps in her feet. Not in the calves or in the thighs, but in her feet. And I heard something this morning while I was coming out about magnesium carbonate. Do you think that magnesium carbonate would have a positive effect on these cramps in her feet? I mean, they curl her toes. Well, they don't curl up. They come up.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, she probably would need to see, a podiatrist, a rheumatologist, an orthopedist, something like that ultimately. But, it's interesting. There's a lot of people touting that magnesium is good for cramping. And most of us truly are not magnesium deficit, believe it or not. As a matter of fact, the University of Maryland Medical Center said, this is a recent article they had, that it's very unusual for Americans to have a true deficit in magnesium. Now, if you were truly magnesium deficit, then yes, you probably could get leg cramping. And leg cramping is kind of a contraction of the muscle, and most of the time people get it actually in their calves, and it's really painful, but you can get it in your ankles, you can get it in your foot. And I got to tell you, a lot of this is related, and I've seen it because there's a podiatrist right upstairs at the Lange Eye Institute, and we've talked about this, but believe it or not, a lot of this leg cramping is related to the shoes that they're wearing, a poorly designed shoe. So she needs to make sure she gets a really good shoe, soft sole, something that's going to be very comfortable. But another one, and we talk about this all the time, dehydration, okay? And if you're dehydrated, you're going to get a lot more cramping, all right? And then here's a catch-22. So what happens, a lot of people are drinking a lot of water, all right? If you drink too much water, all right? If you drink too much water, it's catch-22. Like I said, it dilutes the concentration of minerals and even sodium in your blood, and therefore leg cramping becomes much more prominent. So you don't want to overly drink water. And here's the big kicker now. People are drinking reverse osmosis and distilled water, all right, which has no minerals in it at all, and we've talked about this. And then, therefore, if you drink a lot of it, now you got to drink a lot of distilled or reverse osmosis, due to the laws of diffusion and osmosis, some of the minerals can leach out of your body and go into an area of lesser concentration. And also, that water is very acidic. It's not alkaline. You can test it with pH paper, and you can see it turns it orange. So I want people to drink spring water, alkalized water, all right? You can go to Zephyr Hills at Publix. I've tested that water with pH paper. It's very alkaline. It's very inexpensive. So have her drink. Make sure she's drinking spring water and alkalized water. I just don't know. I haven't seen a lot of great studies, to be honest with you, about magnesium and cramping that I think are legitimate studies. I could be wrong. I haven't looked into it enough as I should. But the things we just talked about may be one of the reasons why she's having cramping.
Okay, how about the spring water with some tea put in it?
Yeah, if it's green tea or matcha tea, organic green tea, organic matcha tea, absolutely. But then again, you don't want to overdo that either, because remember, tea, like coffee, does have caffeine in it, all right? But green tea has some amazing polyphenols in it that are antioxidants that have some very good health benefits for the entire body, especially the eye. Patients with macular degeneration, green tea, and especially matcha tea, actually exhibit what we call anti-VEGF activity. It can help stop some of these irregular blood vessels that grow and bleed, and that's what those injections are that we put in the eye injections. So, green tea is good, but remember, everything in moderation. You don't want to be drinking 10 cups of green tea a day because then it's going to act as a diuretic. So you always want to add some water during the day, but good spring water, okay?
All right, Dr. Lang. Thank you. Hope you get your car. Lord willing, we'll talk to you next week.
All right, Bob. You take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
You betcha. Bye now.
All right, you're listening to Ask the Doctor, 1-866-977-4820, 1-866-977-4820. You know, since the Europa Games are on in Orlando, the big fitness expo, we are going to talk a little bit about protein today, the Fortify Super Protein and the Fortify Naked Protein that I developed, basically why I developed it. I'm holding up a shaker, a Fortify vitamin shaker, if you're watching me on video right now. This is new. We're going to be giving these out to people that buy protein products and stuff like that. But we're going to take some more calls here. Let's see. We got a lot of people on hold. I think Steve's next. Steve in Bradenton, good morning. Steve? Let me try to fetch Steve again. Nope. Maybe this is Tito. Tito in Melbrick, Alabama.
Good morning, Dr. Lang. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. This is actually more of a testimonial than anything else, but perhaps you can enlighten me on one thing. I've been on your super protein and superfood diet for 7 months. I use the chocolate and I mix it with the superfood, the scoop of superfood. And I just want to let you know that I'm sort of a short guy, and I weighed almost 200 pounds. And in the 7 months or 6.5 months that I've been on it, I am down to about 150 pounds.
Fantastic.
Absolutely great. Now, I actually use it 2 times a day. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can do that. If you're actually using that as a meal replacement, then you're getting less calories. You're getting the superfoods that actually help speed up your metabolism and have antioxidant protection, helping to thwart against oxidative stress in your body. So absolutely, yeah, I'm glad you've been listening to the show. When you combine Fortify Super Protein 1 scoop with 1 scoop of the Fortify Blue-Green Superfood, it is... You become a fat-burning furnace, especially if you're using it as a meal replacement, all right? And you're getting 10 to 12 servings of organically grown fruits and vegetables, types of fruits and vegetables most people are not getting in their daily diet that have some really good anti-aging attributes, even some anti-carcinogenic, anti-macular degeneration attributes in this nutritional product. I worked for years on it. Remember, this is gluten-free, all certified organic, non-GMO, and FODMAP-free. That's what sets it apart from anything on the market. FODMAP is F-O-D-M-A-P. That means it doesn't have any of the fruits and vegetables that cause fermentation and bloating and gas. And so that helps your midline, your belly actually start to go down. It's like deflating it, because a lot of people that are on diets are still having reactions. They have IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and they have reactions to these foods that they're eating, and they think they're eating foods that are good for them, but they keep getting like fatter and fatter and fatter, and they're bloated and they're tender down there and uncomfortable. And so that's why I developed this, so people aren't going to have these reactions. And I got to tell you, Tito, that people are doing extremely well. I have testimonials almost every day now of people coming through and losing weight but becoming healthier. Remember, I developed these products to help macular degeneration originally, and then I started seeing people losing weight, blood chemistry's improving, so then I customized it a little bit more for whole body health. And it's really been a big hit, and I appreciate the testimonial.
Well, interestingly enough, I'm also diabetic, non-insulin. And I use the word was on metformin. My A1C has dropped to very respectable levels. My blood sugar level has maintained at somewhere in the low 100s.
Fantastic.
which is fantastic considering I was somewhere in the high 300s. I'm off the metformin. My doctor took me off the metformin, couldn't understand, and I let him know about your diet and some of the ingredients, and I brought the containers to my primary, and he was amazed.
Fantastic. Remember, God made a pretty good body if we give it the right fuel. And that's what I preach to people. If they are diabetics, you got to be very careful. When you get on a diet and when you start supplementing with these things, you got to be very careful because sometimes you can become over-medicated. When you're over-medicated, then your blood sugar drops and you can pass out and have a lot of issues. So, I always say work very carefully with your physician to make sure you're not over-medicated, okay?
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Lange. I appreciate what you've done. Continue the great work.
All right. Thanks for the call. All right. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
And that's Millbrook, Alabama, wherever in the world Millbrook, Alabama is. Maybe it's near Montgomery because we are broadcasting through, 1440 a.m. in Montgomery, Alabama. Also 6:40 a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go back to the phones. I think it's Steve now. Steve in Bradenton, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I am having a great day.
You know my story. I've been getting the Avastin shots about 6 times now,
right?
About once every month for 6 weeks. And I went in Wednesday to get my Avastin shot, and something happened that never happened before. My eyesight blacked out for just a couple seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor says, "Oh, that happens from time to time. It'll come back." Well, ever since then, I've been almost blind. I can see light and dark, and I can see forms of a house or a car, but I can't see much, So I went back, and he says, you can't lose your eyesight from one of these shots. He says he said I had a scratched cornea,
right?
And he says it's really making you blurry. So he put a contact lens on there,
right?
And he says within a week you'll be back to normal, but I am not improved at all. And is it possible, my question is it possible for that pressure to spike in the eye to where it does damage to the optic nerve when you're given one of these shots?
Well, absolutely anything's possible, Steve. I mean, I've seen patients after injections where their pressure is spiked up very high, but it depends on your optic nerve. If your optic nerve is relatively healthy, your body can handle and your eye can handle a spiked pressure for a short period of time, okay? But if you have advanced glaucoma and you have a cup-to-disc ratio of a 0.95, that doesn't mean a lot to you, but then a spiked pressure can snuff out the optic nerve and you can go blind. But you have not been treated for advanced glaucoma, right?
No.
Good. So that's probably not the case, and that probably didn't happen. So, I would say if your retina specialist looked at you, I agree. It's very rare that something would happen to have sudden loss of vision from an injection, although crazier things do happen. Who's to say that you didn't throw some sort of clot into a blood vessel or any type of blockage and you had a stroke to the eye, that you can't even see? That's always a possibility. But if he did say that you had a corneal abrasion, and that is very common when you do these injections sometimes, then if you put the bandage contact lens on, your eye is going to be very cloudy until that epithelium heals over. And it could take 5, 6, 7 days for it to heal over totally, depending on how bad it was. So I would recommend, going and seeing your doctor. Obviously, you have an ophthalmologist and a retina specialist. They're going to have your best interest at stake. You know what you might want to do? And just talk to your doctor and say, yeah, you've researched it a little bit. And are you a candidate for EYLEA injections? Okay, the only reason I say that is you've been having these injections. You've been a caller for a while. You've been having these injections like every 4 weeks or so, I think, 4 or 5 weeks. And EYLEA is a drug that you can use a little bit less often. I think the studies indicate you can possibly even do it every 10 weeks. So you might be able to have 2 less injections, a year. And that's a good thing, because anytime you do inject the eye, there are possibilities of having things occur, all right? Endophthalmitis, retinal detachment, an infection, a corneal abrasion. There's a whole host of things that can occur that are usually relatively rare. But just talk to him and see if there's any reason why you can't use another drug called EYLEA. And he may tell you why. It might not be covered by insurance, and that's usually one of the big kickers.
Yeah, it's kind of late for that now that I'm just about blind. I went in yesterday and I was seeing that 2200, and before that I was at 2040,
Now, what about peripheral vision? How's your peripheral vision?
Oh, I got it. I can see to the side.
All right, so your peripheral vision's fine. That's a good sign then.
Yeah.
Because if you had a stroke to the eye, then that's probably gone. So that probably didn't happen. And so it could be possible that you have a little bit more retinal edema after the injection, and it's going to take a while for that swelling to go down. So just
my vision's really bad, Doc.
Yep, you just got to hang in there and, follow your doctor's advice. I know you got 2 good doctors there, and, if you're not, you might want to see both of them to make sure everything's A-okay. But I would follow your retina specialist's advice and keep the faith.
On the optic nerve, is it get totally blown out, or can it be partially working?
Oh, absolutely. Your optic nerve is fine if you have good peripheral vision. Remember, when the optic nerve goes, you lose your peripheral vision. The side vision goes.
Oh.
Yep. So I wouldn't be concerned about that, okay?
So all this blurriness and what I'm seeing could be some kind of corneal abrasion, he calls it?
Absolutely, it could be. Corneal abrasions cause horrific loss of vision, and it can take a little while to heal. But remember, the cornea does heal, all right? And so if you still have that bandage contact lens on, you may want to be using some artificial tears, some preservative-free lubricating eye drops with that contact lens in your eye 3-4 times a day.
Yeah, I've been using that, and I also use the Durazol twice a day and Cosopt once a day.
Right.
Something else I wanted to ask you about was my pressure. The next day when I went in after this, my pressure on that eye was 10. Didn't that seem awful low?
No, 10's fine. 10's fine. I mean, we got some patients with 6 pressures. By the same token, we have some patients with 80 pressures. So, 10 is not too low. No, absolutely not. You worry about, a wound leak or something like that, and the pressure goes down to 0. That would not be good. A 1 pressure, a 2 pressure would not be good. And that means there's something leaking out. But that's not the problem with a 10 pressure. Okay?
Okay, so just hang in there and hope for the best, I guess.
Yeah, give me an update next week, all right?
All right, you going to be there for sure next week?
I should be here live unless my race car comes in and I'm out practicing someplace, but I'm going to be
I heard
live.
You say your car, you're going to get it by next weekend. You guarantee.
I guarantee it, right. That's my coon-ass accent coming out from New Orleans.
All righty.
Take care,
you
Steve.
so much.
Bye-bye. All right, 866-977-4820. 866-977-4820. Remember, you can follow me at drmichaellange.com. Just put DRN. drmichaellange.com will connect you to everything. I mean, the Paleo site, the Fortify site, all my social media. You can ask me a question on there at Ask the Doctor. All right, let's go back to the phones. Brian in Tarpon Springs, thanks for holding and good morning.
Yes, sir. About a week or week and a half ago, I started seeing something look like a little, spider, black spider, or something in my right eye. I guess you call it a floater.
Mm-hmm.
And then some flashes. So I made an appointment with the optometrist. I didn't like where the insurance sent me. It was like a little eyeglass place, so I want to go to a real doctor. So anyway, I Googled it, of course, and it says, it could be a detached retina. Is it possible that it might not be?
Oh, absolutely. And to be honest with you, usually it is not a detached retina, okay? So if you get a relatively sudden onset of some floaters in your vision, it looks like a spider or a cobweb or a mosquito leg, then this is usually, and I want you to Google this when you get off the phone, a posterior vitreal detachment, not a retinal detachment, posterior vitreal detachment. This is when the gel in the eye, which as we mature starts to liquefy and it pulls loose from the back of the retina. When it pulls loose from the back of the retina, the glued tissue that held it down to the retina pulls loose, and you see that stuff.
That don't sound too good either, Doc.
Well, you see that stuff floating around. This is a normal process of maturing. It happened to me a few years ago. I'm 54 now, and all it did, I saw this like cobweb or spider web in my vision, and it took 2 to 3 weeks, and it went out of my line of sight. Now it's unnoticeable.
How about the flashing at night? I'm getting like some strobe lights if I jerk my head a little bit.
Right. So the flashing means that the vitreous is still attached to the retina and it's pulling on the retina, but it hasn't possibly pulled the retina loose yet, and it very well may never pull the retina loose. Remember, a posterior vitreal detachment happens to most of us sooner or later in life. It's nothing to be concerned about. It's benign. However, now this is a big however, Brian, I do recommend getting into your optometrist or your ophthalmologist. Make sure your eyes are dilated. The only way to know for sure is for them to look at your peripheral retina. They can know in a New York second whether or not this is truly just a floater called a PVD, aka posterior vitreal detachment, or if you've had a retinal tear, a small retinal detachment. It's possible that you have that. Not probable, because usually you have a curtain or a veil coming over your vision when you have a retinal detachment.
Now, what type of supplements can kind of, hold back this hands of time or whatever like that?
Well, nothing is going to get rid of the floaters from a supplement standpoint. If somebody tells you it is, they're pushing snake oil.
I meant like from happening to the other eye. Is there any supplementation like connective tissue type?
Yeah, I mean, I do recommend, there's 3 big carotenoids that, in my opinion, can help strengthen the retina. And that's lutein, zeaxanthin isomers, and astaxanthin. So
you have something that has all those 3?
We do. Fortify Focus. Fortify Focus has all 3 of those in it. Or you eat wild Alaskan salmon with some organic spinach or kale and orange bell peppers. That's a power
Doc,
food.
I'm a big outdoors guy, and everybody out there who thinks that taking their eyesight for granted, I went out last night just, walking in the woods by the house, and boy, I tell you, I was just in tears, because when your vision gets interrupted, it's just awful.
Brian, why don't you get in and see an eye doctor today?
I had an appointment for Monday.
Well, I mean, you can wait till Monday as long as you don't have a sudden shower of thousands of floaters, all right, or more flashing lights. If that occurs, you call the doctor's office that you have an appointment with. They should have an emergency line, and they'll call you back. If something happens and you can't get in touch with anybody, you call the Lange Institute number, and it'll give you our on-call doctors.
We appreciate your show very much. My wife got me listening to it, and you never think that you're going to have anything wrong with your eyes or whatever like that. But you said that's called Focus, the product with the 3...
3 carotenoids. Yeah, Fortify Focus, and you can buy it right off the website at fortify.com. And then, it's not a miracle pill, all right, but it does give you the nutrients. When you read on that, you do the research, just go to fortify.com and read all the articles I have on all the studies and the white papers. You'll be amazed. It's not only for the eye, it's for your entire body. You'll be amazed at some of the benefits. I've been on
one more question, Doc. Can you take one, but can they dilate just one eye at a time, or do you have to have both?
Yeah, you want both eyes dilated. Otherwise, you're going to feel unequal. You're going to feel a little off kilter, and they want to look at both retinas.
I spent a lot of time in the military overseas and stuff, and just been back like a few years, and I don't know if it might kind of, not being able to see for a while like that might kind of, cause a lot of anxiety.
Nah, the new generation drops won't affect your distance vision at all. It just affects your near vision. You won't be able to read a book for a couple of hours. Your distance vision will be fine. Take a good pair of sunglasses.
I thought you couldn't see for like a couple of hours at all.
Just near vision. Your distance vision will be fine. You'll just have to put sunglasses on when you go outside, okay?
Okay, all right. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for the offer to get into your place right away. Thank you very much, Doctor.
All right, Brian, take care. Bye-bye. All right, so I'm going to give everybody the phone number for the Lange Institute. It's 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. Remember, the Lange Institute is in the middle of the state of Florida, right in the Villages. That's geriatric capital, golf cart central. I think there's 60 golf courses in a 15-square-mile radius. An amazing place. So it's a great place to have an eye care center. Remember, we do everything from major surgery to routine eye care and contact lens fitting. Also, we have an advanced contact lens clinic there. We do a lot of keratoconic contact lens fit, new generation scleral fits, and hybrid fits. All right, phone lines are open, 1-866-977-4820. That's 1-866 866-977-4820. Remember today in Orlando, it's the Europa Games in Orange County Convention Center. It's the Get Fit and Sports Expo. Fortify Vitamins is one of the sponsors. Paleo Simplified is one of the sponsors. We'll both be there. I'll be in between both of those booths talking to all the athletes and people that come from all over the country for this big event. So come on by and have some samples of the Paleo Simplified. We'll give you some samples of the protein. We'll hook you up. And we can chit-chat. So Orlando's only a hop, skip, and a jump from wherever you are, I am sure. Remember, you hear me talk about this, and fitness is so important for everyone. So that's why we sponsor these fitness expos. You know, like I said, God made a really good body, but you got to treat it right, okay? Anybody at any age, as long as you're healthy enough, can do the things I'm going to discuss right quickly here. But proper diet is important. Eating the right foods, avoiding the wrong foods. The paleo diet is one of my favorite diets. I've modified that diet a little bit. I call it the Lange diet. I might change the name. Lange diet sounds kind of boring. But the Lange diet is a modified version of the paleo diet, and it really works quite well. And you can learn more about it at fortify.com or drmichaellange.com. Proper supplementation. I talk about this on the show for 25 years. The vitamins, the majority of the lion's share of vitamins that you buy over the counter at the grocery store aren't very good. They don't have high therapeutic levels. They do just about nothing. They're filled with synthetic dyes, synthetic nutrients, trans fats, all the things that are bad for you. Hydration. We talked about that earlier. Hydration, about people that are cramping. Hydration is important, not overhydrating, not underhydrating, but drinking the right type of water. So drink alkalized water, or the simplest thing, look for the bottle, make sure it says spring water. It doesn't say purified water. Sleep. Huge. Everybody's got to get enough sleep. Most of us are sleep deprived, me being one of them. If you're sleep deprived, cortisol and inflammation goes up in your body. You become cranky. You get anxiety, panic attacks. You get fat around your belly. So sleep is very important. Sunshine. You got to get some sunshine. Don't be afraid of the sun. Don't get sunburned. Go out in the sun for 30 minutes a day. Maybe 15 minutes in the front, 15 minutes in the back. Obviously, if you're not albino, don't do this, okay? So don't put sunscreen on for that half hour. If you're going to be out more, then you can use sunscreen, because sunscreen blocks the vitamin D absorption. Also, do not take a shower with soap for 6 to 8 hours after being out in the sun, because it washes the oils off that are helping to absorb this vitamin D3. Remember, if you're vitamin D3 deficient, you're going to increase risk of all eye problems and systemic health problems. All right. Exercise, cardiovascular exercise, and weightlifting. So aerobic and aerobic exercise are very important for longevity, for anti-aging. And finally, a positive mindset. You know, everybody gets depressed every now and then. It's easier said than done, but try to have a positive mindset. All right. I think we're getting ready to take a break. You're listening to Ask the Doctor. We're going to come back after the break in about 2.5 minutes and talk about why I developed whey protein and why a whey protein is better for you than anything on the market. But we're going to take a lot of calls. If you got a question, give me a call at 866-977-4820. I'll be back in 2.5 minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, good morning, and welcome back to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host, as usual, every Saturday morning live from 9 to 10 Eastern Time and 8 to 10, Central Time? 7 to 9. Oh, who knows? As you go toward the East Coast, the West Coast, the hours change. What a concept. All right, 866-977-4820. Remember, this show is dedicated to you, the listener. So if you got a question regarding your vision, eye care, or a nutritionally related topic, I'm not only an eye doctor, I'm also a certified nutritional specialist. Give me a call, 866-977-4820. We're broadcasting through 8:20 a.m. here in Tampa Bay. That picks up almost the entire state of Florida. Also, a great station up in the Gainesville, Ocala area. Lake City area is 97.3 FM, The Sky. If we're coming in loud and clear, we haven't had a call from that area yet. I'd like to know if we're coming in loud and clear. Atlanta, Georgia, powerhouse station up there. I think it's WGST 640 Talk Radio, 640 AM, and News Radio, 1440 AM in Montgomery, Alabama. So waiting for another Alabama call. My mother grew up on Augusta Avenue in Montgomery, Alabama. My grandmother was a principal of Del Reyta School. My grandfather was a engineer at Algin and Blair. And I had some really good memories of spending Christmas on Augusta Avenue. That's an older neighborhood, really big oak trees, gorgeous area, Montgomery, Alabama. All right, so 1-866-977-4820. Give me a call. All right, so I want to talk briefly before we take the next caller. Why did I develop the new Fortify Super Protein? Okay, well, I got to tell you, all protein is not created equal. I've developed my reputation on developing the highest quality supplements in the industry and not cutting any corners in developing nutritional supplements. Originally, I did all my research, ocular nutritional research, and doing intracellular blood studies, DNA studies, omega index studies, and found that when we made the eyes healthier, we made the entire body healthier. This led me to developing supplements for total body health. After working with patients for nearly 25 years, I found the vast majority of my patients are not getting a good quality protein, especially for breakfast. Think about it. What do you have for breakfast? What have you had for breakfast? A piece of toast, a bagel, coffee, orange juice, oatmeal, cereal, a donut. I mean, how many of you are getting enough protein? How many of your kids are getting enough protein? So the problem is I started recommending whey proteins. I couldn't find good whey proteins that I trusted, that aren't made in China, that aren't filled with all sorts of binders and fillers, and that are at an affordable price. So I started researching different types of proteins, quickly determined that the best form of protein that is going to be non-GMO grain-fed, no pesticides, no antibiotics, no synthetic sweeteners, no binders, hormones, no overly processed protein is going to come from New Zealand. So I developed a New Zealand whey protein concentrate. I don't like the isolates because a whey protein concentrate is the least processed form of protein. It's not been stripped of the good fats. The immunoglobulins, the minerals, and the enzymes are all in those fats. Those are good for you. Remember, fat doesn't make you fat. Carbs make you fat. So that's why I don't like whey protein isolates, because they remove the fat and you lose these valuable anti-aging, immune-building aspects of the whey protein. So especially if you're over 40, you want a whey protein concentrate. Even if you're young, you want a whey protein concentrate. Remember, it's all about anti-aging. Not only do you want to become strong and have muscles and less fat, but you want to be healthy, okay? If you just want to be big and strong, you take anabolic steroids, but then you die early, okay? So you don't want to do that. I also elected to use a non-denatured whey protein concentrate to maintain the natural quality of the whey protein the way Mother Nature wanted you to have it. Non-denatured means it has not been heated to a level that actually denatures or alters the protein, so it keeps the bioavailability very high so you absorb that protein. Also, when it's non-denatured and hasn't been heated to high levels, when you heat protein, people don't realize this, it converts covalent bonded cysteine to a different form of cysteine that is much less bioavailable and doesn't stimulate the master antioxidant in your body called glutathione the same way. So that's why I developed it. New Zealand, I researched a lot on this and developed whey protein concentrate called Fortify Super Protein, Fortify Naked Super Protein, and the Naked Super Protein has no flavor, no guar gum, no stevia, and that's become very popular for all the purists out there. So we have a delicious chocolate and vanilla flavor, and then we have the Naked Protein that is just pure protein. You blend that up and make your own taste with some fruits and vegetables, and you can use almond milk, coconut milk, A2 cow's milk, or goat's milk. Don't drink traditional dairy. Don't drink traditional dairy. A2 cow's milk or goat's milk. All right, so that's my spiel on Fortify Super Protein. You can get it off of the Fortify website. You can get it at many doctors' locations. You can get it at the Lange Institute. You can get it at Fortify Vitamin headquarters in Ocala. Remember, when you buy 3 of any Fortify products, use a promo code LEC 20%. LEC 20%. Use that promo code. When you buy any 3 Fortify supplements, you get 20% off. All right, we're loading up on calls. I've been talking enough. Let's take some calls. Let's see. Lisa in Atlanta, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. I did have what that one caller talked about, the vitreous, posterior vitreal separation.
Right.
And it scared me. I did find out that it was that, not a detached retina. But I guess my question is after that, I still see some white flashing at the corner of my eye. So do I need to worry about a separation?
Well,
separation?
Oftentimes what happens is vitreous pulls loose from the retina, but it's still attached way out in the periphery. And if it's still attached, you'll get like this whiplash effect, especially if you're looking to the left or right or getting up or laying down, and the vitreous will tug on your retina. When that happens, you'll get a flash of light. Or as long as it's an occasional flash of light and it's not followed by thousands of floaters, you're probably okay. But remember, whenever in doubt, go see your optometrist or ophthalmologist, a lot of great ones in Atlanta, Georgia, and have your eyes dilated, because it's always best to err on the side of caution. With today's technology, if you have a small retinal tear, we can seal it in the office, relatively easily, where if it becomes a total retinal detachment, then you got to go into a surgical center in the hospital, major surgery, and then, the potential outcome isn't always as good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you talked about having trouble sleeping. What do you recommend for that? Because my husband and I both have trouble sleeping.
All right, so I want you to write a website down. Write Blue Light Defense down, okay? BlueLightDefense.com. And go to that website when you get off this and just read up on it. What's happening today in today's society, we have a lot of people that are on the computer watching TV, their iPhone, their iPad at nighttime. And remember, at nighttime, your biological clock, your circadian rhythm is supposed to kick in. Melatonin levels are supposed to go up, and you get tired and you go to bed and you sleep like a baby. That doesn't happen today because we're having all this synthetic blue light is going through our eye into our retina, telling our brain, don't secrete melatonin because you're still outside in the sun, right? And so people aren't getting tired and they're not sleeping well. This is epidemic, right? It really is. Ever since the advent of the computer, especially, handheld devices you can use while you're sitting in bed. So one simple thing, and I've got literally hundreds of testimonials. If you start wearing a pair of glasses called Blue Light Defense, or one that blocks 99% of the blue light, then you put them on around 5, 6 o'clock at night, and I bet you, my bottom dollar, you sleep a lot better. I know my sleep has improved dramatically, okay? But also, another trick of the trade is tart cherry juice, okay? Mm-hmm. Tart cherry juice, drink a cup of that. It's got a lot of sugar, so if you're diabetic, be careful. But the raw, organic tart cherry juice, maybe 2.5 hours before bedtime. It's a potent anti-inflammatory, but is a good way of increasing melatonin naturally, okay? I don't recommend doing a lot of stimulation exercise late at night, although I'm one that always hits the gym sometimes way too late. So another thing is taking a hot bath with some Epsom salt. Throw some Epsom salt and use candles, all right? Epsom salt. And ultimately, if you really want to sleep well, don't read anything except a paperback book or magazine. Don't use anything that's digital. Don't get on a computer, an iPad, or an iPhone 3 hours before bed. That's difficult for many people. Take a hot bath, Epsom salt, read a book, not an iPad or a Kindle, and the tart cherry juice, blue light defense lenses. All of this can help dramatically because sleep is crucial. If you don't get sleep, remember the cortisol levels, which are the stress hormone, go up and everything starts to go bad.
Right. Another quick question is that, when I get my eyes dilated, I feel for that guy because mine lasts 11 hours. I had my eyes dilated at 3 o'clock the last time, and at midnight, my pupils were still real dilated. Right. I still couldn't see.
What color hair and what color eyes do you have?
I have hazel eyes and brown hair.
Yeah, so if you're fair complected, you stay dilated even longer. You know what you ought to do? Ask, can I have the weak drop? The weak drop, because I use the weakest drop. It's only 0.5% tropicamide. I don't use 1%. I don't even add 2.5% phenylephrine unless it's a patient that I don't think is going to dilate well. So you can tell them to use the weakest concentration, and they have that ability, and you're going to dilate fine usually, and then it's going to wear off in about 3-4 hours.
Oh, good. And where do you buy the milk that you talked about? You said non-traditional milk, the
right.
A2. I live out in an area that all we have is Publix and Walmart.
Right. Well, Publix now carries 2 brands. They just started carrying them. Promised Land and A2 cow's milk. Publix carries both of those. So Promised Land or A2 cow's milk, those are two that come from A2 cows, non-genetically mutated. So the beta-casein protein is A2. It's very good for you, where A1 beta-casein causes leaky gut, diabetes, and cancer. There's some good studies that actually have proven that. So yeah, either Promised Land or A2 or goat's milk. And Publix carries goat's milk as well.
Oh, okay. And so that's better than the organic 1%?
Yes, absolutely. Much better.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm so glad you told me that. I didn't even know it was available.
The things you learn from the eye doctor.
Well, thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
All right, Lisa, take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we got an Atlanta caller. We want a Montgomery, Alabama caller and a Gainesville, Florida caller. 1-866-977-4820. 1-866-977-4820. Let's go back to the calls. Annette, Citra, Florida. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Lange. I've been a patient of yours for several years, and I take most of your products, including the protein, and I've really experienced great things. My skin looks really good for my age, but I'm having a question, and I wanted your advice or your opinion.
Okay.
I have this great skin everywhere except my back, and on my back I have these, I can't pronounce it correctly, acetic keratosis. And I heard recently on a show that sometimes these things are nutritional. I thought they were inherited because my mother had it. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, a lot of these kind of keratoses are just irregular, big, brownish, clumpy growths.
Yes,
and
they're embarrassing.
Yeah, and most of these are benign, but it's a good idea to see somebody that's in tune with these, your dermatologist.
Oh, my God. Dr. Lange, I can tell you how many doctors I have been to. I have been frozen. I have been cut. I have been everything, and all they do is spread and get worse.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. There's not a whole heck of a lot you can do. You heard a show we talked about apple cider vinegar and putting on lesions. We did that about 3 weeks ago. It's not going to help, okay? So I would not harp on it. I wouldn't worry about it. I would just, when you see your primary care physician or your dermatologist, always have them check these things to make sure they're not bleeding and make sure they're not growing bigger and blacker, because sometimes these lesions can be masquerading as a basal cell or squamous cell carcinoma. So you have to be able to differentiate between a benign lesion and a cancerous lesion.
So you don't think it's so much nutritional?
No, I really don't, because you're on a good nutritional protocol right now.
Yes,
so
I
doubt it's a nutritional deficiency that's causing these. A lot of these types of skin growths you probably inherited from somebody in your family.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, well, that was my main question, is if it was nutritional or, I would just like to have a new back, Thanks a lot, Dr. Hank.
All right, you take care.
Day.
Bye-bye. Well, I got to tell you, Dr. John Poser upstairs at the Lange Eye Institute could probably give you a new back. Dr. John Poser is in Gainesville, Florida, and he's also at the Lange Eye Institute. Great bedside demeanor, nice guy. Patients love him. So if you do, or you're looking for any type of plastic surgical procedure upstairs at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages. Also, Dr. John Podlatsky is upstairs with his Natural Health Institute, doing a great job. So if you want to see a doctor, more of a holistic type practitioner that's not going to put you on any drugs, Dr. John Podlatsky upstairs at the Lange Eye Institute. Also, he's a certified nutritional specialist and an acupuncturist. And of course, Michael Moore, our hearing specialist upstairs, Hear More Medical Centers. If you want a hearing guy that's top notch, for free. I mean, he doesn't charge you for the hearing exam, doesn't charge you for removing the wax, does charge you for hearing aids, though. He doesn't give those away for free, but guarantees the lowest price in Florida. So Hear More Medical Centers, that's Michael Moore upstairs at the Lange Eye Institute. Remember, if you're not happy with the eye care that you're getting, get a second opinion. Certainly, if you're in Florida, you can come to the Lange Eye Institute. You can learn more about us at langeeyecare.com or drmichaellange.com. We're available 5 days a week to see you, and we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at the Lange Eye Institute. I'm going to give you the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute. Then I'm going to give you the phone number for Fortify Vitamins, because believe it or not, a lot of you that listen to my show do not have computers even today in 2017. So the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute is 352-753-4014. 352 753-4014. And then Fortify Vitamins headquarters is in Ocala, Florida, right there on Southwest 17th Street next to Wood for You. Remember, you can go in there Monday through Friday. We'll give you samples of things before you buy them. The phone number for Fortify Vitamins, and you can order. We ship all over the world, is 866-503-9746. One more time. And remember, Monday through Friday, we're not open the weekends. 866-503-9746. If you get confused, always go to drmichaellange.com. Everything I talk about just about is on that show. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Michael Lang OD is the best one. We got, about 30,000 followers on Twitter now. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to Ask the Doctor. I'll be back next Saturday for another hour. Have a great day, and God bless you.